we are looking at chapter 5B. This is covering sections 5.3, 5.5, and 5.6, okay? The very first part reads, list the side links in order from shortest to longest. So if I'm going from shortest to longest, which angle do I want to start with? 48, because 48 is the smaller angle. So since 48 is my smallest angle, you go across, what would be the shortest side? A to B. Next angle in order from shortest or smallest to largest, what would it be? 62. Across from that we have A to C. Therefore, the longest side has to be side B to C. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the right side, okay? On the right side, we're still going from shortest to longest. So what number am I starting with? 32. What side is across to 32? XY. All right. In order from smallest to largest, what would be the next number? 36. Y to Z, you said? So therefore, the longest side has to be X to Z. So just like your review, this is how your test starts off, okay? All right. Now, if I give you the angles, we should be able to do the same thing. So if I give you the sides, we should be able to list the angles. So we're going from smallest to largest. What is the smallest side? At 6. So and across from 6, we have angle S. All right. What would be the next angle? R. Good. So then the largest angle has to be angle T. All right, let's look at 4. Still going from smallest to largest. What's going to be the smallest angle here? F, because it gets across the smallest side. So we have angle F followed by angle E, because the next number would be 7. And therefore, the largest angle should be angle D. All right, number 5 reads, list the angles and sides of each triangle in order from smallest to largest. So we don't know 2 of the angles, so we have to figure out all the angles. What should we do? Add them all up and set it equal to 180, correct. All right, so let's add everything up. We're going to take 48. We're going to add that to 11x minus 5. And we're going to add that to 9x minus 3. All of it should equal 180 degrees. Combining like terms, what can I combine? The 11x and the 9x. 11x and 9x give me how many x's? 20. Let's take the 48, the negative 5, and the negative 3. 48 minus 5 is 43. 43 minus 3 is 40. Should give us 40. Equals 180. All right, what do we want to do now? Subtract the 40 and we get 140. Divide by 20 and x is going to have a value of 7. All right. Now, I didn't ask for x, right? What was the purpose of finding the x? To plug it in. So let's go ahead and plug them in. Let's take 11. Let's plug in the 7. So what's 11 times 7? 77. What's 77? Take away 5. This is 72 degrees. That's angle C. All right, let's do the same thing with angle A. So let's do 9 times 7. No, what's 9 times 7? 63. Good. Take away 3. This gives us 60. All right, so now let's answer the question. The question wants us to list the angles and the sides in order from smallest to largest. So what is the smallest angle? 48, right? So what angle is that? Angle B should be the first angle. What's the next angle in order from smallest to largest? A, all right, let's put A there. Therefore, the largest angle should be angle C. All right, with the sides, bless you, the sides in order from smallest to largest. We said the smallest angle was angle B, right? We said that was 48. What side is across from B? C to A. All All right, we said A was the next angle in order, which was 60. What side is across A? B to C. And then the largest side should then be B to A. All right. The next one is, it's a word problem, guys, but it's the same thing, okay? It says Stella's going to Texas to visit a friend. As she was looking at the map to see where she might want to go, she noticed the cities of Austin, Dallas, and Abilene formed a triangle. She wanted to determine how the distances between the cities were related, so she used a protractor to measure two of the angles. So in order to figure out which two cities are nearest to each other or farthest from each other, what do we have to know? The last angle. So we're going to call this angle at Austin, we're going to call it angle X. So what do all the angles in a triangle add up to? 180. All right, plus X equals 180. 59 and 64. Who can give me 59 plus 64? 123? Okay. All right, what should we do with the 123? Subtract it. And X is equal to 57. All right, so now we found the 57. Now, they want to know what cities are nearest. Are we looking for the shortest or the longest distance between the cities? The shortest. So that should be across which angle? The smallest one. So since 57 is the smallest angle, the shortest distance should be across. So this is the shortest. Who's the shortest? What's the shortest distance between what two cities? Abilene and Dallas. All right, so here we're going to put Abilene to Dallas. All right, to figure out who's the farthest, we want to go across which angle? The biggest. All right, so this would be the longest side, so they would be the furthest away. So in here, we're going to put Abilene to Austin. On the right side, we're asking, is it possible to construct a triangle given the lengths? Is it possible? So do you remember how we set this up? What do we have to do here? Add 2 and see if it's bigger than the third. So we're going to do 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5, is that bigger than 18? All right. Once you get a no, you stop, right? So we're going to say no. This one's going to be not a triangle. All right, let's try the next one. Do the same thing. 6 plus 3, is that greater than 9? No, that's actually equal to 9. Can it be equal? No, not a triangle. All right, let's try the third one. 11 plus 7, is that greater than 6? Bless you. 6 plus 7, is that greater than 11? Yes? And then we'll do 11 plus 6, is that greater than 7? Yes, so this one's, yes, this one's a triangle. We'll use the same formula when we get to another chapter that I can't remember right now, but we will be using the same theory, and then we'll actually start to classify them as acute, obtuse, or right triangles, okay? All right, same idea. This one says which of the following sets of numbers cannot be the lengths of the sides of a triangle. So you're going to do the same thing. We're going to add 2, compare it to the third, okay? So we're going to add 2. 1 plus 3, is that greater than 2? Yes? 2 plus 3, is that greater than 1? All right, 2 plus 1, is that greater than 3? No. So this one's not a triangle. Which one cannot make one? A. This is the one that didn't work, okay? All right, we did set that one up so that the first one didn't work for you guys because we know it's a long review. All right, on the next one, we're going to find the range for the measure of the third side of a triangle. So this is, are we doing anything different here, or are we doing the same thing? Same thing, okay? Same thing. You're still adding and setting it greater than the third side. 5 plus 12, is that greater than X? What's another formula? X plus 12 is greater than 5. What's one more formula? X plus 5 has to be greater than 12. All right. So let's work one out. What should I do with the first one? What's 5 plus 12? 17. Good. 17 has to be greater than X. Here's one answer. Remember, we get 3, then we pick the 2. What should I do on the next one? Subtract the 12, and what do we get? X has to be greater than -7. All right, let's do the last one. We'll subtract 5, and what do we find? That X has to be greater than 7. Which one do we not take? We don't take the negative. So what's our range? It's between what two numbers? 7 and 17. Always the smallest first, then the largest. Okay, I think you guys can do 12 and 13. Let's go down to 14, okay? So on 14, it says which value is not possible. So if I'm asking you which one is not possible, what do you think we have to figure out first? How do we figure out which ones are possible? We do the same thing we were just doing. We're going to figure out the range. So we're going to do 7 plus 17 is greater than X. We're going to do 3, right? Well, what would my next formula be? X plus 17 is greater than 7. What would your last formula be? X plus 7 is greater than 17. All right, let's solve all 3. Ready? On the first one, we'll add 7 and 17. What do we get? 24. On the next one, what are we going to do? Subtract 17. And we get X is going to be greater than -10. And then on the last one, we're just going to subtract 7. We get X has to be greater than 10. So what values do we look at? Positives, not the negatives. Good. 10, X, and 24. Remember, your largest goes on the right, smallest goes on the left, minimum to max. All right, so it says which one is not possible? Can 20 be possible? Okay. Can 17 be possible? Yes. Can 11 be possible? Can 25 be possible? That's your answer. Okay. The only other way to get around this one is you can say 20 is your side, but then you're still having to do all 3 checks. So I think this is the easiest way to answer this one. All right, does everyone have that one down? Anybody need that side? All right, let's finish. On the back side, we have write an inequality to describe the possible values of X. If you were out yesterday, this is what we missed. So we see that we have an equation here. So is this a side or an angle? A side. Now, you notice that all the sides on the top one, are they different or are they the same? They're all the same, right? All the angles are 60, therefore all the sides should also be what? The same. They should all be 23. So here, you're looking at a side, so you're going to look at its opposite angle. Opposite angle is 35. Because all the sides are the same on the top triangle, it's not going to matter. Just pick one of your angles that's across. What's that angle if they're all the same? Do you remember? They're all 60, right? Because only 60 plus 60 plus 60 adds up to 180. All right, so let's see if we remember. You're going to write out your equation. The two things you're going to compare, we're comparing 3x plus 2, and we're comparing 23. So 3x plus 2 and 23. You're going to look at the opposite angles. What was opposite of 3x plus 2? 35. What was opposite of 23? 60. Good. Which one's greater? The 60. Remember, the whole point of those blue numbers on the screen were just to determine the direction of my inequality. So we're done with those numbers. So from here, what do y'all want to do? Minus 2. So we get 3x is less than 21. And what do we do next? Divide by 3. So x has to be less than 7. X has to be less than 7. All right, let's try the next one, okay? The next one I think is a little easier because the two equations are obvious, right? So what equations are we looking at? 5x minus 4. And what other angle? What other side? Okay, so if you're looking at the sides, you have to look at the opposite what? Angle. All right, so let's write down the expressions first, and then we'll look at the opposite angles. What was opposite? What was opposite of 5x minus 4? 55. What was opposite of 38 minus x? 65. And then we decide what direction it's going to open. What direction is it going to open? To the 65. Good. And we're done with the blue numbers. Okay. From here, we're just going to solve. So what do we want to move over first? The x. All right. Let's add the x. 5x plus 1x is 6x. And you're solving as if that was an equal sign, right? So what are we going to do with the 4? Add the 4. What's 38 plus 4? 42. Good. What would the last step be? Divide by 6, and x has to be less than 7. X is going to be less than 7. All right, let's look at 17. So on 17, you have there are two sides. So let's go ahead and write down the expressions. We have 5x minus 2, and we have 3x plus 10. All right, so you have the side, so you're going to look at the opposite angles. Good. Across 5x minus 2, we have 45. Across 3x plus 10, we have 41. Then we decide what direction we're opening to. Are we going to open to the 45 or the 41? The 45. Good. And then we're done with those numbers. All right, from here it's solving. What do y'all want to move over first? The 3x. All right, let's subtract 3x from both sides. 2x minus 2 is greater than 10. What else can we do? Add the 2. 10 plus 2 is 12. Divide both sides by 2. X is greater than 6. All right, make sure you guys have all that copied. All right, let's come down to the, yeah. If y'all may see it the other way, that's a good question to ask. You may see it going the other way. So if you see it like this, where x is on this side, and it's opening to the x, and it's a 6, these two are the same answers. If you notice, the inequality is opening up to the x. It's still opening up to the x here, okay? It's just written in reverse, okay? So yes, that's okay. All right, so this is the one I talked about on the notes. Remember I said y'all were going to have just one triangle? All right, let's see if y'all remember. We said this angle was 90. What did we say about these two angles? That they were going to be less than 90, right? So what angle is across y to z? What angle? 90. So across y to z, we have 90 degrees. And across the side of y to w, we know that that angle has to be what? This has to be less than 90. So what angle is what side is the largest? Y to z. Remember, the alligator's hungry, it's going to eat the big one, right? All right, this is also a comparison. So they're going to be just like this on the test, okay? You're just going to look at what's opposite. Here we're deciding the relationship between D and G and G to F. What angle is across the side D to G? 30. Remember, you're going to put that number right underneath or above. What angle is across G to F? 20. So which one's the largest? D to G. All right, let's do the last one. Last one, we're comparing angle 1 and angle 2. Here we have angle 1. What's across angle 1 here? 12. And then what do we have across angle 2? 11. So which one's the largest? Angle 1. Good, all right, when you're ready, we'll do the right side. All right, when you're ready. Is everyone ready? All right, I think you guys can handle 21 and 22 because they're almost the exact same questions. I want to do 23 with you because 23 entitles you guys having to do one more step. On 23, we're looking at A to B and B to C. A to B and B to C. Now, do we have the angle across A to B? No. So what do you have to do? Subtract those from 180. All right, so let's do 110 plus 45. Plus x, all of it has to equal 180. All right, what's 110 plus 45? 155. All right, if I subtract that from 180, what do we get? What was that? 25? All right. So now we have the angle. What's the angle across A to B? We found that that was 25, and the side across B to C, or angle across B to C is 30, which is the larger side, B to C. All right, so you will have one like that where you're having to figure out the third angle, and then that's going to help you determine what side is the largest, okay? All right, let me erase that piece there. All right, let's do these here. So here we have two paintball teams. This is exactly what we had on the notes, right? We had these two teams. The question here is who's farthest. Do y'all remember what the steps were? (51 minus 180, right? Because you have to have this angle right here. So let's do 180, take away 51. What's our difference here? 129. So let's put 129 in there. So this is 129. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the right side. On the right side, we're going to do 180, take away 49. What does that give us? 131. So this little angle right here is 131. That's the one we needed, because those are the ones across the segments that connect the team's location and the camp. So across this line here, we have what angle? 129. Across this one, we have angle 131. Who's the farthest then? It would be Team B. This is the longest side, so they would be the ones furthest away. So they would be Team B. All right, the next one I think you'll be fine. Let's look at 26 though. On 26, it says Rose and Connor. Oh, we can do the next one. All right, look at the next one. Here we have the distances between 4 cities. Specifically, we have Hawthorne to Round Mountain. And we have the distance of Warm Springs and Beatty there. All right, the question here is, who has the greater distance? Are we going to look at the cities across the 80 or the cities across the 95 degrees? The 95, right? If that's the largest angle, then they must have the furthest distance. And we can abbreviate here, because that may be too long for you guys to write. All right. The next one is like the lifeguard question. Remember I said it was tricky. Here we have Connor and Rose, and it says Rose and Connor each row across a pond heading to the same point. Neither of them has rowed a boat before, so they both go off course as shown in the diagram. After 2 minutes, they have each traveled 50 yards. Who is closer to the destination? So your destination is here. That's where they're trying to get to. Now, if you look across the 50, is the side across the 50, is that going to be longer or shorter than the other one? Okay, is 50 the bigger number or the smaller number? The bigger number. So this is going to be the longer side. Now, across the 30, we have the shorter side. So if I'm trying to figure out who's closer, am I going to go with the longer side or the shorter side? The shorter side. So this one happens to be Rose. Oh, Rose. She happens to be closest. That's it, guys. If you know you have homework out, work on that. If you know you have everything turned in, go to your phone. Not that you still need help. Were you working on a worksheet? No.